Machiavelli would say Gen Z rules the digital court through perception, and TikTok is their throne where authenticity is the new strategy of power. If he were alive today, he would not be studying princes or popes, but influencers and algorithms. For him, power has always depended on the ability to control appearances, and Gen Z has mastered that art better than any generation before. They live in a world where visibility equals legitimacy and where identity is a crafted performance, not a fixed truth. TikTok is not just an app to them. It is a territory, a living stage where influence circulates faster than reason and where empires of attention rise and fall in seconds. To reach them, a marketer must act as a modern prince, reading the moods of this vast crowd, mastering the optics of authenticity, and understanding that even rebellion must be rehearsed. Gen Z's influence does not come from wealth, political power, or institutional authority. It comes from control over cultural meaning. They set the tone for language, aesthetics, humor, and ethics in the digital realm. Machiavelli would recognize this as a new kind of sovereignty, the rule of perception. The princes of Florence relied on propaganda, spectacle, and rumor to maintain their image. Today's Gen Z creators do the same with filters, edits, and viral trends. What seems like chaos is actually strategy. Each creator intuitively practices what Machiavelli called virtue, the adaptable, skill to seize opportunity from the shifting moods of fortune. When the algorithm changes, they reinvent themselves overnight. When attention wanes, they pivot narratives. This is not instability. It is survival through transformation. To market to Gen Z is to enter this unpredictable court. Here, sincerity is not about truth but about resonance. Machiavelli would advise that appearing virtuous matters more than being virtuous. And the same applies now. Brands must not only speak Gen Z's language but embody its rhythm. A brand that lectures or postures fails. One that joins the performance thrives. The clever ruler knows that to govern the crowd, one must mirror it. Thus, successful brands behave like content creators, informal, self-aware, even self-deprecating. They tell stories of purpose while concealing the calculation behind them. It is not deceit but art. The art of appearing real in a world built on performance. TikTok itself is Machiavellian in structure. It rewards agility over authority, charisma over credentials. Its algorithm favors not the most powerful but the most adaptable, the same law that governed Machiavelli as political philosophy. Fortune, he said, is like a river that floods unpredictably. The wise prince builds channels to control its flow. TikTok's algorithm is that river, and Gen Z are its flood. The marketers who succeed are those who build their channels with precision, understanding what triggers emotion, what symbols evoke belonging, and how to convert fleeting virality into lasting influence. In this digital republic, control is not imposed from above, but earned from below, through the consent of millions of scrolling thumbs. Machiavelli would also note that this generation distrusts traditional authority yet craves leadership in disguise. They reject propaganda but follow those who embody their ideals. Power today wears the mask of relatability. The influencer who shares their anxieties and vulnerabilities wields more command than any CEO. In this sense, Gen Z's court has inverted the Renaissance hierarchy. Empathy has replaced command, and self-expression has replaced decree. Yet the logic is the same. Perception defines reality. To rule, one must understand the crowd's heart, not its intellect. The marketer who wishes to capture Gen Z's loyalty must think as Machiavelli thought about the Florentine people, not as subjects to manipulate, but as a volatile public whose favor is both weapon and weakness. They must learn when to speak, when to withdraw, when to align with moral movements, and when to provoke emotion. Gen Z's attention cannot be bought outright. It must be earned through cultural fluency, humor, and timing. They reward those who risk authenticity and punish those who fake it. But even that sincerity must be sculpted, a balance between performance and confession, between strategy and spontaneity. Ultimately, Machiavelli would see in Gen Z the embodiment of his most enduring lesson, that power always adapts to the medium through which it flows. Once it was the sword, then the press, now the algorithm. The golden audience of our time does not simply consume culture. It creates and destroys it in real time. TikTok is not their entertainment but their empire, and those who underestimate it do so at their peril. The marketer, like the prince, must learn to govern through illusion without losing sight of intention, to inspire trust while guiding perception. Gen Z's throne may be virtual, but its power is real, and in their reign, authenticity is no longer the opposite of strategy. It is strategy perfected.